Welcome into another episode of the Real Estate Minute Show. This is episode 80. My God. And I just want to take a second to thank you very much for those of you that have spent 2, 3, 4 minutes with me every week. We usually don't skip weeks. Every now and then we will just because of holidays and not. And a lot of you constantly comment and are learning something from this stuff. Because this show was originally put into place a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, to give you the 2, 3 minute snippets of stuff from the real world in real estate, in buying and selling homes and other properties and stuff. I mean, the real problems and things that nobody really talks about. And a lot of times your agent, or if you had an agent, forgets or doesn't discuss these little things with you because they seem to be tiny and small and insignificant, but they are incredibly important and things that I've seen people lose a lot of money and make a lot of money by knowing these few little things. So I want to thank you again for being a subscriber to the show. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. We're on YouTube and Facebook. Or just a watcher periodically, a video here and there. I mean, we have 80 episodes in there, and each one is kind of chock full with a little nugget that people have saved tons of money and kind of saved their butts watching. So thank you again for that. Today we're going to talk about just 3 things you might not be aware of in the purchase contract when you're buying or selling a home. Things that don't come up usually when you're meeting with your agent a lot of times, things that are not discussed until they become a problem, okay? They might seem insignificant, but just like I said earlier, it's the insignificant small stuff that if you don't know what you don't know, or if you think you don't know, you know what I'm saying. But the tiny insignificant stuff is what becomes something huge when the problem arises, all right? So the first thing we're going to talk about are TV brackets. Tiny little thing, right? But can become a big issue. So in the purchase agreement, you as a seller, you have the obligation to remove any wall-mounted TV brackets and fill the holes and make it ready for paint, but not paint. Tiny, but can be significant because we've had people with a huge wall that have ripped a TV monitor down. And as buyers, we come in with our buyers, for instance, and they see these huge holes in the wall. Seller has to repair the holes in the wall, but does not need to paint. That's one. Very small, but important, can be costly, can be a handyman to paint that whole wall. And all of a sudden, a little tiny thing ends up costing $1,500. Second thing are fountains and water features outside. Ones that are built in, ones that are plugged in that you bought at, at Osh or Home Depot or something like that you think you can just take with you. You can't. In the purchase agreement, it defaults that you will leave all fountains and water treatments, regardless if they're plugged in, movable, or not. So if you have something that you really want, make sure that it's excluded from the purchase agreement before you sign it. The third are window coverings, window blinds, shutters, draperies, rods. All of that stuff remains with the property. You can't take it no matter how long it took your grandmother to knit those drapes. They come with the house. If you remove them as a seller, you are going to possibly have an action from the buyer to collect on that. If you want to keep grandma's drapes that you've had in the family forever, make sure that you notate everything you want to take with you in the purchase agreement. And that's the end message here. We just talked about these 3, and there's a lot more of stuff in a home that goes with the house, as you can imagine. But what the main point of these 3 is that anything you really, really want, chandeliers, light fixtures, all that kind of stuff, okay? Make sure you make a note and make sure you let your agent know so that when you do receive offers, you can specifically exclude those, okay? Happy Hanukkah to my Jewish friends out there.